Thanks so much. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I'm also very pleased to have this opportunity to address this distinguished audience of great business leaders today. First of all, I would like to thank the International Economic Alliance for inviting us to this symposium. I consider it a great privilege to address this audience of global business and finance leaders. Many of you are experienced international business leaders who have seen economic transitions around the world. Some of you are even familiar with Georgia's transformation since the end of the Soviet Union. The Georgia of today is another world compared to 2 decades ago. Every aspect of our country, from health and education to political stability and national security, and especially for this purpose of today's forum, economic development, has progressed in leaps and bounds. A key component in Georgia's development path has been our European and Euro-Atlantic integration. Our commitment to aligning more closely with the United States and Europe goes hand in hand with our commitment to continued economic and democratic transformation. Increased Euro-Atlantic and European integration is our way of returning to the family of European nations with whom we share history, culture, and most importantly, the values. Our new association agreement with the European Union, which we signed this June, and our ever-deepening ties to NATO underpin this relationship and provide a master plan for even more robust engagement. My government values the close, strategically important relationship with the United States and Europe. And I see great potential for future political, economic, and security collaboration. The people of Georgia greatly appreciate the consistent support we have received from the United States. We also appreciate the deep ties we have with our neighbors, such as Turkey, Armenia, Azerbaijan, as well as our growing trade and political relationships with countries in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. The United States-Georgia trade relationship has deep roots. We have a bilateral investment treaty signed in the 1990s. And my country also enjoys a GSP trade regime with the United States. Under this institutional framework, our economic and business cooperation has strengthened consistently. The United States-Georgia Charter on Strategic Partnership has made this institutional framework even more robust and our cooperation more trustworthy and reliable. In Europe, we now stand on the edge of even greater development. At the end of June, as I mentioned already, we signed our association agreement with the European Union, further integrated Georgia into a Europe whole, free and at peace. My country has always been a European country, but this agreement provides an essential avenue to rebuilding our cooperation, our connections with Europe. Of equal importance is the enactment of the new EU-Georgia Deep and Comprehensive Free Trade Agreement, which is an integral part of the association agreement, and which provides the roadmap, incentives, and protections needed to finally bring EU-Georgian trade to its full potential. The DCFTA will contribute to economic growth, integration with world markets and global supply chains, and open new prospects for Georgia and for entrepreneurs doing business in our country. The DCFTA provides an opportunity to gradually achieve integration in the European internal market. Products or services produced in Georgia can freely access to the European market. And Moody's has just affirmed Georgia BA3 rating and changed the outlook on sovereign rating to positive. While the success of Georgia's development is the result of the hard work of many over decades, the important reforms my government has enacted over the last 2 years have brought us to this moment. We have focused all our efforts on building a solid foundation to consolidate Georgia's democracy and prosperity, to ensure that we will be a lasting part of Europe and the global economy. As you all know, a country like Georgia can have the lowest tax rates in the world, and many other business incentives. But investors will not come if there is no rule of law. At least not the investors you want. We have brought the rule of law back to Georgia, and I'm proud to say this. We have aggressively cracked down on corruption, and we have ended government impunity. Georgia is not only open for business, but it is safe for business. And I would say that the top goal of my government is to ensure and guarantee the following things, such as macroeconomic stability, open and fair competition in the market, proper protection of property and intellectual rights, freedom of access to an independent judicial system, effective financial systems, and a stable, predictable, and transparent legislative environment. So for you and for potential investors, investing in Georgia is as safe as investing in any country in Europe, except that your costs and taxes will be lower. There will be fewer regulatory burdens, and of course your returns will be higher. So everything I have said, I hope that sentence caught your attention. So over the last 2 years, my country experienced significant economic expansion. Its business-friendly policy, strong regional trade relations, and location at the crossroads between Europe and Asia will only continue to encourage growth and international investment. I'd like to share some key statistics with you. We have seen a 6.2% increase in GDP in the first 7 months of this year. Total growth in 2014 is expected to exceed 5%. The World Bank ranks Georgia number 8 in the world for its ease of doing business, making it one of the top global economies for starting and operating business. A recent survey by the Heritage Foundation ranked Georgia as the 22nd freest economy in the world. Improvements in 6 out of 10 economic freedom categories, including the management of public finance, investment freedom, monetary freedom, and property rights. Georgia's foreign trade only continues to grow. In the first half of 2014, trade expanded 16% year to year to $5.4 billion. And in fact, Georgia enjoys free or near free trade with all its neighbors. Building on these relationships, exports increased 20% to over $1.1 billion in 2013, and this growth continued in 2014 with a 15% year-to-year increase in exports in the first half of the year. Estimates indicate that the DCFTA, the free trade with the European Union, will increase Georgia's exports to the European market by 12% and imports from the EU by 7.5%. In the first 6 months of 2014, our country trade turnover with the European Union grew by 15%, with an amazing 49% year-to-year increase in exports and 9% increase in imports. This was without the DCFTA being in force. Domestically, our economy is expanding rapidly, supported by important market-oriented reforms and investment programs. The Georgian agriculture sector grew nearly 10% last year. Industrial output increased almost by 7%. And to build on this success, we are investing hundreds of millions of dollars to support the expansion of the agriculture, manufacturing, tourism. And I want to focus on one of the fastest growing sector, which is tourism. Tourism is on the rise in Georgia. While a small country, Georgia offers beaches, skiing, vineyards, and famous spa and wellness resorts. Last year we had 5.4 million visitors, which is 22% more than in 2012. And this year we expect to have about 6 million visitors, which is quite a good number for a country with a 4.5 million population. The occupancy rate in Tbilisi, just for your information, regularly exceeds 70%, 7-0, and dozens of new hotels are about to open. My government actually works on the development of tourism infrastructure as well as diversifying existing services and new avenues, including mass tourism and the development of a convention center. And one of our main goals is to unlock the full potential of Georgia's agriculture, which has been famous throughout the region for thousands of years because of its wide diversity. Also, for your information, Georgia can produce most types of temperate and subtropical food and agricultural products. We also have extended growing seasons and several international brands such as Ferrero Rocher and HIP have already taken advantage of Georgia's strategic location and large agricultural base. There are also business opportunities in supplying agricultural equipment and services. We must expand the value chain by building more greenhouses, storage and deep freeze facilities, and packaging plants. My country strives to boost the food processing industry in our country, and not only to meet local consumption, but for export purposes as well. Additionally, we recognize that the health and the education of Georgia's people are key to the success of our economy. As a result, we are investing huge sums in dramatically improving education and healthcare, especially in rural areas. So these reforms have not gone unnoticed, and Georgia is attracting more and more foreign investors. To attract more foreign investment, we have launched numerous initiatives to help reduce risks and increase returns. On the ground scale, new public and private investment funds with billions at their disposal, have been established to help finance foreign investments in our country. Among those are Georgian Partnership Fund, also the Georgian Co-Investment Fund, which serves as an investment vehicle dedicated to investing in Georgia and provides opportunity for investors to get exposure to the Georgian economy. At the micro level, we just launched a new initiative called Produce in Georgia. This is to support smaller manufacturing, local production, and agricultural projects. I will also mention two other major developments that are game changers, I would say, for Georgia, and present great opportunities for global companies. First is our strategic location. While Georgia's location is not new, our infrastructure is. We are investing heavily in our roads, rail, and ports. We are currently constructing new highway through Georgia, and we have several new airports under private management. Georgia can give opportunities for goods that can now transit through our country from Asia to Europe and back again with surprising ease and low costs. And to meet the demand of increasing trade flows between Europe, the Caspian region, Central Asia, and China, we have recently announced an expression of interest for the construction of a new deep sea port near Poti in Anaklia, for us to be able to receive Panamax and post-Panamax ships at Anaklia. Because we enjoy free trade or near free trade with all our neighbors, including CIS countries, Turkey, and now the European Union, in total 900 million people's market. Manufacturers looking for a much safer and easier business environment are choosing to establish their factories in Georgia and utilize our great transit services to ship their products tariff-free around the region. And I predict that with DCFTA, smart manufacturers looking to sell to Europe, the CIS, or Turkey will expand their operations to friendly Georgia. Second, and also due to Georgia's strategic location, my country is playing a very important role in the energy independence of Europe. Georgia supports the only route for Caspian oil Caspian Sea oil and gas to travel to Europe without going through Russian-controlled territory or pipelines. Last year, the Shah Deniz Consortium announced a massive $45 billion expansion of the South Caucasus pipeline through Azerbaijan and Georgia, which will bring 16 billion cubic meters of new natural gas to Europe and Turkey. Several days ago, I was in Azerbaijan to break ground and lay the first segment of this new pipeline. This expansion will lead to approximately $2 billion investments by the consortium in Georgia. Similarly, Georgia has one of the largest untapped hydro resources per capita in the world. Green energy companies comprises up to 90% of our energy consumption, and we have significantly raised the potential for renewable energy generation, only 20% of which has been utilized so far. So investment in this priority area will generate massive long-term returns. And as a result of Georgia's abundant and growing hydropower capacity and this supply of natural gas, Georgia is becoming a net exporter of energy. More importantly, energy prices in Georgia are falling regularly, and the source of that energy is getting greener and greener. Our country is not only a great place for manufacturing and exports, it is a great place for any industry that consumes large amounts of power. We as a government can be an enabling instrument, but it is up to business to seize the opportunity. We want the business community to see us, Georgia, as a reliable partner. And my team is ready to work with you to make your entry into Georgia as easy and profitable as possible. With the support of the Asian Development Bank, at the end of October, we are organizing the International Investment Forum, Georgia Regional Hub and Asia's Gateway to Europe, to be held in Tbilisi. So it could serve as a perfect occasion to visit our country and discover its many treasures, I would say. So once again, I would like to thank the organizers for this event, and I hope you will come to Tbilisi soon and see for yourself all we can offer. Thank you very much.